Hey there PCL fans, welcome to another video. We are giving you the Origins League Draft Analysis for Season 3, and I am joined today by Hussam. Hey there Hussam.
Hey guys, this is my Season 1 intro, so I have to say hello PCL fans and coaches.
Indeed. Okay, so we're just going to break right into it. I think it's going to be probably a long video, so let's just dive into it. So we did leave it up to a vote this season and let people kind of vote to decide where people go. So we're going through the list in that way. It's not necessarily our personal top 16 like how we would order them, but this is just how everyone kind of decided. So the first one is Fury's team. Desolate Earthbladers. So Fury missed draft. I think that's probably why he's at the bottom. So here's the team. Obviously he did trade Chansey right away for a Dragonite, and Yanmega for a Nidoqueen, and Heliolisk for Sharpedo. So a lot of FAs. I think he drafted super quick when he got in, and then yeah, just had to make a lot of changes. Obviously he came in late and got Necrozma. I think that's like really good actually. I'm surprised Necrozma was still there, because Necrozma is so strong. Mega Metacham is obviously pretty decent, to be honest. And then the FA for Nidoqueen I think is a really good improvement for the team. Comfey, also another one I'm surprised was still there, because I think in our tier 4 video we decided Comfey was the best tier 4. I think his biggest weakness, though, for me anyways, is that there's no steel type. Every other team has at least one steel, and I think steel types are really important, especially with all the fairies. Having no steel hurts a lot, and I expect he'll probably want to make an FA for something.
He has to get a steel type Pokemon at least, and his offensive power is actually lacking, but yeah, that's why he took Sharpedo, Nidoqueen, and Dragonite.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Heliolisk is still a really good offensive mon. Sharpedo's probably slightly better on offense, maybe. But yeah, and then yeah, Dragonite can add some power. I think that's good.
Some speed, I think. That's why. And I think in both Origins and Generations, Jane drafted Yanmega, so...
Yanmega, yeah.
He had Baton Pass.
Yeah, that's. I think I think that was my bad. I think I told people Yanmega got Baton Pass without thinking about it.
Your evil plan all along. Okay.
Yep. So everyone drafted it and then was like, "Wait, it doesn't actually get Baton Pass." My bad. But no, it's I mean, I think Yanmega's still good, but maybe we'll have to think about dropping it to tier 4. I don't know.
It's not worth you picking. Nidoqueen is actually much better.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with the team, he needed a ground. He needs a steel.
Yeah, I expect after this
to
video.
Be number 16.
Yeah, I expect after this video he will definitely pick up a steal. But I do agree 100% that I think this is the number 16 team. It's slow. It's lacking types that it really needs. So yeah. Oh, and 2 dragons. He picked up Dragonite, but he's got Goodra. I don't understand why he picked up Dragonite, because Goodra is really good. That was another thing I noticed.
So he has Dragonite, Necrozma, Cofagrigus. Okay, so Slurpuff, he had it in Season 2, and he only played it as the web setter, sticky web, and with the Unburden, Focus Sash, Endeavor, something like this. He has not used the Belly Drum set, which is actually so good with Drain Punch and Flare Off. So I hope this video and at least give it a try.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Belly Drum Slurpuff. I'm not a big fan of Slurpuff, but I've seen Belly Drum, and it's scary. I think it's good. And actually now I'm noticing he does have like 2 bulky fairies, and that's also kind of weird. He could drop one of those for a steal maybe then. Because he has Slurpuff and Comfey. Both are really good though. But I don't think he needs both. I don't know. That's just me. Anyways, I think that's it for Fury, though. We can move on to number 15, which is Toronto Star Raptors, Crow's team. So Crow's team, he went with Fire MZ Volcarona, which was a set we saw last season that did really well for Brendan's team. He drafted Superior and Azumarill for tier 1s. And obviously Superior did really good last season, so we moved it up to tier 1. And then he did get Jolteon, which I think is really strong. That's about it for positives, though. I don't know. I'm not feeling Absol as the Mega. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's strong enough even for a tier 2 Mega, maybe. But we'll have to see. Alolan Exeggutor, I mean, it's like a fun pick if you have a slow team, I think, because I think it is a decent Trick Room setter and decent on Trick Room teams where it can actually use some of its power. But it's Crow's only dragon, so like it doesn't really fill a core well if it's like that slow and just dies instantly, I think, to any ice. And the team is really fast, actually, really fast. It does not need Trick Room, I don't think. I mean, you've got Volcarona, Jolteon, Mega Absol, Nihilego, Superior. None of those want Trick Room. So, I don't know. I think it's an interesting pick. We'll have to see how it goes. And obviously, Azumarill and Superior aren't considered like really high tier 1s. So the fact that he picked 2 tier 1s that are kind of lower, for me, that's a little makes the team maybe a little weaker. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, and the his three cores, Azumarill, Volcarona, Jolteon, Superior, they are all just like, let's say, one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Almost do the same thing every single game. Except for Azumarill, the Perch Song, Perch Trap, and that's it. But I think, although his team is so random, just like this.
Yeah.
Especially with Azumarill and Torkoal.
Yeah.
Energize really good. And Exeggutor. Prefer the non-Alolan Exeggutor for the harvest. Both of them have harvest.
Yeah.
But I think the weakness of the ice and a lot. So, but with Klefki and Nihilego, I think this team can do well in and Superior in controlling like spikes, stealth rock, toxic spikes, and glare from Superior. So I think he has the control. He can control teams. So it's ranked 15, but in his hand, Crow preps very well, of course.
Yeah.
Do pretty well and surprise everyone.
I think so. I mean, I know Crow's really good. So, like, there's some weird picks, but I think he does it on purpose, and I think he knows what he's doing overall. I did not put Crow at 15. I put him a little higher. And maybe that's just my bias knowing that Crow is good. But I think the Volcarona Firium Z combo is just good enough to make it a little higher than 15 for me. That's just such a good Z combo.
But Absol is... I won't say it's bad because its special attack is 115 and learns like Fire Blast and
yeah,
Bolt. So it can with its speed 115. So I think it will get some kills.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Mega Absol surprises me and I change my mind about it. I think I did put it last in the tier 2 Megas in my video, but I hope Crow proves me wrong. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, I think that's it for Crow. Pretty straightforward there. The next one is Black Viper's team, the OU Dropouts. So this is the Heatran Mega Altaria team. Some people have argued that this team should not be number 14. I've heard it a lot in the Discord. Just because of that Heatran Altaria core, I suppose. He definitely has really good tier 3s, I thought. Some of the best tier 3s are Aquanid and Donphan and Pangoro. I used Pangoro last season and did really well with it. So I do think it's really good. He did trade his Florges for Alomomola. So he now has 2 bulky waters. I'm not sure why he made that trade. That seems weird. Not that he needed the 2 fairies with Mega Altaria and Florges, but now you have Araquanid and Alomomola, and I feel like I would run Araquanid every time. I don't see the use of Alomomola as much. The team is really slow, but he has webs on Araquanid, which I think is good. And then I think the Z Crystal was just picked too late is probably the problem, because besides Luxray, I'm not sure if Electrium Z has much use. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Pangoro Thunder Punch Electrium Z. I don't see that being good though. So yeah, it's kind of a meh team for me. I personally kind of agree with the placement of this one, but I do think the tier 3s, they did really well picking those. Good stuff.
The Araquanid sticky webs will be so good with this team, especially with Heatran and Mega Altaria, so they can outspeed. But as I said before in the Discord, this team lacks a better sweeper than Mega Altaria and Breloom.
Oh, that's true. Well, I think Pangoro though, with webs, Sword Dance Pangoro can do a lot of damage.
I think so too.
But otherwise, I don't think you can really rely on Pangoro to sweep though. It's true. 4 times weak to Fairy.
Just kiss him goodbye.
Basically. But yeah, I definitely see that. It's very much more of a like defensive team overall, and if anyone that can handle the webs is gonna help a lot. They also picked Ditto tier 4, and I know for one, I'm currently prepping to fight Viper week 1. The Ditto is worrisome, something that you do have to kind of plan around. But
just hit setting up versus it. So and the Gengar is good with Araquanid because you don't want your opponent team to just rapid spin these hazards.
This is true.
So, but if it was something else like Cofagrigus or Jellicent, I think it would have been better than Gengar in that.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, Jellicent is still available, I saw. They could drop Alomomola for Jellicent. Again, having 2 bulky waters is odd, but that could help Araquanid a bit. Hint, hint. I think Vipers had Jellicent for 2 seasons though, so maybe they're trying something else.
I hope so. He plays Jellicent very well.
Yeah, he definitely does. That Acid Armor set versus me was really good. But yeah, I also like Azelf. I like that he does have enough fat. Like, Gengar and Azelf are fast enough that he doesn't have to 100% rely on the webs, but I mean, the rest of the team really needs it. But
Ray can benefit from it, let's say, and Pangoro and Breloom.
Yeah.
So, and he has some priority in Ice Shroud and Donphan.
Yep, that's true.
There's Bullet Punch, right?
Bullet Punch on Pangoro. It doesn't get Mach Punch though, so no stab priority on Pangoro. But I learned it can
Technician.
Yeah, it can one-hit KO Gardevoir, so that's nice. Learned that last season. But yeah, I think it's an okay team, but I do think 14 is probably about where it should be, maybe.
Actually, a good team. Every team is really good, but it's in the bottom list, as we said.
Yeah, like I would still rate it. Like, nobody really drafted too horribly, I think, except maybe Fury, just missing a few types. But otherwise, yeah, I think everybody did really good. So number 13, we've got Winnipeg War Turtles, which is Toast Machines. Makes me a little sad to see Toast down at number 13 because he did so well in the playoffs. Obviously the strengths here, I do think, and I said this in my tier 1 video, Tornadus T is really underrated. I think it's really fun having an offensive Pokemon with Regenerator, especially one that can come in and defog and then regenerate when it leaves. Scolipede obviously has proved really, really strong here, and we have moved it to tier 1 because of that, and it still gets picked and sweeps teams. It's so good. Claydol and Sylveon, really high picks for those tiers are good. Obviously, Mega Ampharos I think is an interesting pick. I don't think they have a web setter, so I'm not sure.
He
the
has
plan...
a speed baton pass and Scolipede.
Oh, you are right. Speed baton pass Scolipede. Ah, yeah, because we changed the rules this season, so that might be a thing. That would be scary actually with Mega Ampharos. Seismitoad was picked, and Slowbro, I'm gonna say this I think a few times in this, regular Slowbro was available at the end of the draft, so people picking some of these tier 3 bulky waters, I was a little like, really? Like, I think Slowbro could have benefited the team maybe a little more. And then the Fairy Dragon Steel Core is kind of lacking some bulk, but I think... And that's mostly the Dragon, Noivern, which I think Noivern is a great offensive option, which is good. But it just doesn't...
What about Mega Ampharos?
Mega Ampharos... Oh, you are right! I always forget that Mega Ampharos is a Dragon, actually. That's a good point. Mega Ampharos would definitely fill that core, then. Good call. I don't know why. It just doesn't look like a Dragon to me. It still looks just like an electric type. But no, yeah, you're right. So no, I like that. But yeah, the fire, I mean, Alola Marowak is really, really nice on fire, and we did move that to tier 3, so I think that's a good pick too. Yeah.
Lucario is interesting. I don't particularly like Lucario in draft, but I think it just it will be good with Nasty Plot or Swords Dance.
Yeah, it really needs that setup though, I think, and that's why it's just not quite there for us. I mean, we moved it down to tier 3, so at least he's not picking it as a tier 2. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I've never really played with Lucario myself, so I never really know. I'm like, maybe there's like some stuff you can do with it, but I've never seen anyone actually do anything with it. It never seems to get off the ground.
Is weak versus ice, I think. It is Mega Ampharos, Claydol, and Celebi.
Oh, that's very true, actually. Ice. So, I mean, Lucario kind of helps there, and Alola Marowak. That's about it, though. Yeah, it is pretty...
It's not that bulky.
Yeah. So, a little Ice weak, I would agree there. I'm also looking at the Z Crystal. Darkium. Where do you think Darkium's going to be used here? I'm not seeing... Parting Shot. Who gets part? Oh, Alola Persian. Right.
Persian, yeah.
That
heals the other Pokemon that switches in.
I didn't actually know that. That's actually really good. I knew Alolan Persian got Parting Shot. There's only like 3 Pokemon that get that move though. But yeah, that's actually... I can see the use of that.
Exactly, he can set up versus anything with a minus attack.
Yep.
Like Scolipede as the end. I think it's so good.
Yeah, that's a good plan, actually. Alola Persian into Scolipede, and then Baton Pass to Ampharos, something like that. Ooh, or a
Z Memento or Healing Wish combined together.
Imagine that Speed Pass to Alola Marowak, too. That could be devastating.
Then it's the... that's scary, actually.
I just thought of that, too. Yeah, that's actually really good. See, I've rated Toast a little higher, personally, but everyone's teams are pretty good though. I like it.
And Sylveon as well has Calm Mind and Baton Pass.
That's true.
So I think it can be to Ampharos, Noivern and Lucario and Celebi.
Very true. I think Toast is... I think Toast will prove whether he's going to be really good or really bad based on how our new Baton Pass rule plays out. We'll have to see how well people are prepared for Baton Pass, I think.
For that. Okay. let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Next we have Toronto Maple Leafeons. This is Lo-Fi's team. So Lo-Fi went for a meme. None of us noticed.
Theme.
A theme. Theme, not a meme. I still think it's a meme. Went with all Gen 1. Obviously, Charizard X is not really Gen 1, but you have to take a Mega, so... It's a Gen 1 Mega. But Clefable, I think, is absolutely the strongest Gen 1 you could possibly pick outside. And then, I mean, there's also Mew. Mew's up there. And he got both. Those are really good. Gyarados, Lo-Fi had last season and beat me both times with it. So he knows how to use that. Charizard X is a good Mega. I enjoy it. Makes for a... And, I mean, the Fire Dragon Steel Core is still there, even with the all Gen 1s, because he's got Magneton, which is good. I'm glad he got Magneton. That was probably a really important one for him, since it's the only Steel type in Gen 1. He did start with 3 ground types. He drafted both Nidos. He had Nidoking and Nidoqueen. Did drop one, though. And then Sandslash in Tier 5 for a Rapid Spinner. But he did upgrade Nidoqueen to Aerodactyl, which I think is good. I like Aerodactyl. It's a nice suicide lead a lot. But I do think, and I told him this, and he said he was debating between the two anyways, but just didn't know whether to go with more water or more ground. But I think Kabutops definitely is better than Sandslash in just about every way, personally. As far as a Tier 5 that needs Rapid Spin that's Gen 1. But... I mean, even with the theme, I think he built a decent team. I think it's going to prove well.
Yeah, it's really good, especially if he's like screens for Gyarados, for Cloyster, for Charizard X. I think if either of these 3 just set up, he can sweep.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This was Moxie.
Yep.
And... Tangela is actually so bulky.
Yeah, it is. No, it really, really is. Tangela with an Eviolite is crazy bulky. So that's going to be really good.
Defense, yeah.
And then, obviously, Cloyster. I think I missed saying anything about Cloyster. Cloyster's so good. The thing is just a sweep machine. And it does get the priority ice move too, I believe. I remember when I had it Season 1, I did run it banded once and didn't go for the Shell Smash, and it still did really well.
That's the ice shard.
Yeah.
The thing is, it has Repin as well. I think that's so good. And Spikes and T-Spikes.
Yep. Yeah, Cloyster can be a decent Spikes lead, I think. I will be interested to see how Machamp does. I don't think anyone's really picked Machamp and done much with it. So that's one I'd like to see.
Machamp in Season 1.
Did it do much though? I don't think so.
Like a dynamic punch, it will... I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I don't know if there's much else to say about the team. I think it's good, but obviously restricted to the Gen 1 makes it maybe not quite as strong as it could have been. Because, I mean, I think we still have to just compare it with Draft as a whole, not just, like, with its theme. With Draft as a whole, it's still okay, but I think there's just better options for some things.
Where would you rate it?
I think I rated it in last place, but after going over a lot of these, I might have moved it a little higher. I think it's kind of okay where it is. I think I would still put Toast Machine above this team, to be honest. The Baton Pass team. But it's still not bad. I mean, all these drafts were good, and with the theme, I think he still did really well, but overall, I just think, obviously, Sandslash is just not useful.
We'll just use the FA to get rid of that.
Yeah, but again, but then he, like he said, like if he picks Kabutops now, he's got 3 water types, and that's totally right. Gyarados, Cloyster, and then Kabutops. So it's like, but I mean, Cloyster has rapid spin. I don't think it's the best rapid spinner though, but I guess it just depends on how badly he really needs that rapid spin. Which, with Gyarados and Charizard X, he does want to get rid of rocks.
And even Cloyster, he needs it.
Yeah, he does. Cloyster. So that's true. I just think, I mean, if he's looking for something that's at least usable as a rapid spinner, I just think Kabutops would be usable. I don't know.
Tentacruel, I don't know.
Oh, if he could trade someone for Tentacruel, that might be good. He'd probably have to trade, what would he trade? Machamp or Aerodactyl? Because it's tier 3 now.
3 now, yeah.
I don't know. I would keep Tentacruel myself. I think Tentacruel's really good, especially in tier 3 now. I think that's like actually almost too good. But
if you were him, what would you go for instead of Sandslash?
Kabutops, probably. I mean, if it had to be a tier 5, just thinking of what like Gen 1 tier 5s there are. Because I think like a few things come to mind, but I don't know if they're. I think most of them aren't tier 5. They're tier 4s or higher. Maybe you could.
I would go Weezing or Vileplume.
Weezing would have been good. Someone took that. I know. Vileplume's tier 4. Actually.
Okay.
Oh, there's a default. Oh, Dodrio. Actually, we did move Dodrio down to tier 5. That could have been really good. I think Dodrio's really strong. And then maybe it gets defog? I'm not sure if it does though. But it would also be weak to rocks though, so maybe that's kind of why he picked Sandslash. It's not weak to rocks. Anyway, I think that's about it for his team though. So next we have Brian's team. So Brian was the #1 pick overall. He is the Houston Heatmore, and with his #1 pick, he picked Primarina. So he's already made a bunch of trades. Traded Chandelure to Salazzle, Cresselia to Reuniclus, and Porygon 2 to Empoleon. I thought his Fairy Dragon Steel Core is really, really strong. So you've got Kartana, Primarina or Whimsicott for Fairy. He's got Empoleon now also for Steel. And then the Dragon is Zygarde Dog, which has proved to be a really, really strong Pokemon in Tier 3. He's also got Hippowdon and Stoutland as his Tier 5. That's going to prove to be really good, I think. And Mega Pinsir is always good. It's one of the best Megas. I personally didn't think his FAs made too much sense to me. I can get why he kind of wanted Salazzle for Fire. But, like, the poison
for the defog.
For the defog?
Yeah.
Empoleon, yeah. I get the Empoleon pick. Cresselia to Reuniclus, I don't know if that's like, I don't understand why that's necessary. Well, Reuniclus doesn't. Go ahead.
He doesn't need another passive Pokemon in this team. He needs like a bulky, same time can set up.
That's true.
In the game.
Okay, I guess I can kind of see that. But Chandelure to Salazzle, I don't know. I think they're both really, really strong. I think the Ghost typing helps Chandelure a lot, depending on what you're coming in on. But then Salazzle can hit Fairy types harder, so there's that. Maybe he was worried about being able to hit Fairies, even though he has Kartana and he's got Empoleon now. I don't know. I do think the team is also a little weak to hazards myself.
Yeah, that's why he picked Empoleon.
Yep, which totally makes sense. Empoleon's really good for getting rid of hazards.
This team, I think, after using Klefki in Season 2, he loved the Prankster, I think. So Whimsicott with Tailwind.
Oof.
Is so good. Actually, with Primarina, let's say Fairy Z, and Cortana, Zydox, Pinsir.
Mm-hmm.
One of these can do so well under the Tailwind.
That's true. That is definitely true. I do think that, I mean, even though, yeah, the Tailwind will definitely help, I think, and having him pull Undeclare Hazards is good, but I mean, the only thing on his team that's off the ground, I believe, is Mega Pinsir, and that's only after going Mega.
Yeah.
So he has no flying. He got rid of Cresselia, which was his only Levitate. So he's got to be careful of Earthquakes, because nothing's, I mean, at least nothing's going to dodge them. A few things can take an Earthquake, like Whimsicott resists. But Earthquakes are going to hurt this team a lot. I don't know if he realizes.
And I don't understand the Excelgor pick.
Yeah. I've always found Excelgor weird. Yeah, it doesn't. Overall,
to be honest, his like sweepers, let's say, or cleaner like Cortana, Zygarde, and even Salazzle, they are all so frail.
Mm-hmm.
So his team that much, and I think I rated it like 15 or 16.
Yeah, I think I put Brian a little lower, to be honest. I'm surprised how high it is. Like, I definitely would put like Toast and maybe even Crow above this one, just for some of the.
And Toast and what was it? Lo-Fi.
Lo-Fi, yeah.
And Crow and Fury.
You would put Fury above this team.
No, not Fury. So I think Fury is 16th and Brian 15th.
Yeah, that's what I would put, actually. After going through all this, I think I'd put Brian, sadly, at 15th. I think the power is there. I think the sad thing is he's already used 3 FAs. So if he wants to get off the ground, he's going to have to use another one, unless he can make some trades. So it's going to be really hard for him now that he's already made some switches. And that was one of the reasons why I do think, I understand like he wanted maybe one less passive Mon, but Cresselia was at least giving him some movement away from the ground for me. So.
And then what will Cresselia do to him? Trick Room?
Could. I think it gets Trick Room.
And Pinsir. Yeah, it has Trick Room, but why would he need it? He has Stoutland with Sand Rush, and Cortana, Salazzle, they are also fast.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Cresselia has, I think, a lot more going for it than that. But, I mean, the sand does hurt its healing. Just like when I had it on my rain team, the rain hurt that Moonlight. Which is too bad. But I felt like Cresselia has a lot of options. The Psycho Shift set, I think, is decent for burning. It's good at Toxic.
Only set I use for Cresselia. This is for Cresselia.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see if he makes any more changes. I just hate that he's already used up 3 FAs. I think I like the Empoleon one, and I do understand the Reuniclus one, but I think something's got to be done, or else people are just gonna run Earthquake on him. All right, so number 10, Midgar Manectrix. We've got S-Life. So S-Life is a really good player. He did really well last season. Strength, some very, very high tier picks. In tier 2, he got Magnezone and Mimikyu, which we both moved down from tier 1, so obviously those are going to be strong. Gigalith has proved really, really good for a tier 4. I think that paired with Excadrill is really strong, so he's got the Sand Rush on his team. Megalodios, how he ended up with all these high tier picks is insane for me. It looks like maybe he kind of foregoed some high tier ones, because he did get Infernape and Excadrill, which aren't the best, but they're still really good. I think better than Crow's tier 1 picks. And then Ghosty and Mimikyu is good, and now that Mimikyu's a tier 2, that just gives him a lot more to work with the team. And then obviously some weaknesses. He did pick Delibird. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like a meme pick. I get that it gets rapid spin, but it's 4 times weak to Stealth Rock. Are you really gonna break that into Stealth Rocks? I don't know. Leavanny is okay, I think. I just hate it's got 2 4 times weaknesses. It's not gonna get its opportunities to do what it wants to do. And it's not the most offensive team. I think it has its power though. Again, the Excadrill combo, Mega Latios can set up. Infernape can do fun things. Otherwise, fairly defensive. It has good defense though, but. And then Mantine and Quagsire. I actually forgot to put that on here. That's 2 bulky waters. That's like, do you need both? I'm not sure. You can hear what Hussam has to say. I'm probably wrong. But
Quag with Mantine is understandable because they both cover each other's weaknesses.
Oh, that's true.
Yes, for Quag and the Thunder for Electric for Mantine. So I think with his team, I really like his scores, but as you said, they are all so frail. But every one of them can set up and sweep. Infernape, either Nasty Plot or Swords Dance can sweep. Rios can sweep with Calm Mind and even D-Dance. And Excadrill. So I think every one of these except Larios are not frail. He has switch-ins to cover all their weaknesses like Quag, Gigalith, Among Us, and Mantine. The draft overall is so solid.
Agreed. What do you think of Delibird though? I just gotta know.
Just tell me, he said my 10 Pokemon are enough for me. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And as a suicide web user, I think, because I think he drafted it last, or the Delibird was what he finished with.
Was it? Interesting. I don't remember that.
Leavanny was his last pick. So Araquanid and Galvantula were sniped from him, I think.
And Masquerain, actually.
He wanted.
I think.
And Masquerain.
Because Masquerain is definitely a better web setter even than Leavanny, I think. The Intimidate helps.
Someone had it.
Somebody does have it. I know somebody picked it. People were talking. I know someone was talking to me about wanting Masquerain and then got sniped. So I'm pretty sure.
Life.
So, but I mean, at least he has the webs if he needs it. So yeah, I guess I could see that. I think I did put S-Life maybe higher than this spot. I think 10 might be a little low. I do think it's a really good team. I think people might have rated it lower just for the Delibird and maybe Leavanny picks.
I think so.
But like you said, I mean, if he doesn't need him, he doesn't need him. He's got a solid team that people have to try to work around. I think the offensive combos are there, and they're going to be really strong. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty straightforward team. So, I think we can go on. So, number 9 is Snowpoint Sneasels. We've got Yeesh. Yeesh is a really good player that was with us Season 1, but missed out Season 2. So, it's funny. He's the Snowpoint Sneasels. He did go for Ice. Alola Ninetales, he had Season 1, did really well. So, he has the Ninetales and Sandslash combo. Lando T is always really, really strong. The Latios and Dragalge with Ferrothorn and Alola Ninetales is, I think, a decent core. Ninetales is a little frail on the defense, but I think it's okay. And like I said, Yeesh has really proved he's a pro with Alola Ninetales. He did some fun stuff with it. It wasn't just the Aurora Veil set. Actually, both times I played him Season 1, he never used Aurora Veil. He used a lot of other sets on Ninetales. Some of the things I'm not too keen on, Mega Gyarados is not versatile for draft. I still don't think it should be a tier 2, so I like that it's a tier 1. It's just, I don't know. It does one thing basically. It does it well, but it does one thing. And because he's using Gyarados as his water, there's no other bulky water, which is odd for a team. Because I mean, he's got Ferrothorn and Darmanitan for grass and fire, but he's just lacking that nice bulky water. I'm just not sure Gyarados fills that role well enough. But overall, I really like the team. He picked Raichu again. I think he had that Season 1, and that's actually okay. I used to think it was bad, but I think it's okay.
His team has some good momentum and three U-turners. I think Landorus, Darmanitan, Mianshao.
Yep.
And they are 3 really good U-turn users.
Yes, they
and
are.
Raichu as the Volt Switch. So I think this will give him momentum to either set up with Gyarados or either set up the Aurora Veil or Nasty Plot as he did in Season 1 with Alolan Ninetales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So, I think his team works so well, very well with everyone he has.
Yeah, I think I would have probably rated it maybe a little higher than this. I don't know, much higher. I think Dragolge and Latios are a little counterproductive having both, personally. I mean, Latios isn't as bulky, though, as, like, Latias, so maybe he just wanted more bulk. I don't know. He could have maybe done something different with the Dragolge pick. For me. But otherwise, I like the team. I think it's really good. Alright, so I think we can move on to Hussam's team. Oh boy. So Hussam is number 8, the Damascus Cofagrigus. Zero Aura was finally picked, so I think that'll be interesting to see how that does since we've never used it before. Mega Blastoise. I honestly was hoping someone picked it. It does free up a lot of room in the draft when you've taken Mega Blastoise, it's a rapid spinner, it's your bulky water, so now you can use all your other picks for other things, and you get bonus points, so that's probably good. Staraptor, I've always said is underrated. I love Staraptor. I want to draft it someday. Can just never find room. And then obviously Zapdos is good, but that makes 2 electrics on the team, so we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the worst thing, because one's bulky and one's offensive, so they're very different. And obviously a lot of the kind of lesser used Pokemon are on this team, but I think that's fine with Hussam, because I think it's going to do well. Not to bash Hussam too badly while he's here, but... I like Rhydon and Dusclops, to be honest. I'm not going to really bash those. I love Rhydon, so the Eviolite's good. You should really trade that dragon, though, that Kyurem. You should trade it to someone. I think there's someone that really needs it.
No, like whom?
Like me.
No one needs it.
The person you aren't.
No.
Anyways, yeah. And then Rocky MZ, I know you had to pick last. Rhydon, I think, wants Eviolite, so I don't know if that's gonna work there. You could.
I think Metagross is the only one can use it.
Pretty much.
And his Rocks.
So... yeah.
The initial plan was Zeraora with Steelium because he has Iron Tail, or Dragonium Z because he has Outrage, or Fightinium Z, which was my main plan.
Yeah, Fight's good.
Sniped it. Thank you very much.
Time to make some trades.
No, he refused. I tried. So I think, although I have 2 electric types, one cover the other's immunity, only weakness. So
that's true.
They synergize well with each other, especially if you want to hit Zeraora and physical. Zapdos can switch and static that attacking Pokemon. So I should not say much about my team, so bash me as much as you want.
No, that's fine. I think it's good, and I think 8 is about where I put you, and I think that's where the team should be, personally. I mean, I think some people might put it lower just because the like tier 1 picks aren't like the greatest, but I knew that was kind of your plan. I mean, trying 0 Oro is going to be fun. And I think Zapdos is really good. I'm not going to bash Zapdos. Espeon I don't think is amazing, but it's okay. Hazard control.
This is amazing.
But yeah, Zapdos is absolutely...
Although his stats is not saying that, but I don't know why. With static or pressure, he can stall Urum's pressure.
Yeah, I think with Zapdos it's a lot with the typing. I think that typing is really nice. Getting the electric off the ground helps a lot. And I mean, it's got like decent bulk, 90 hit points, 85 defense, 90 special defense, so you can just like EV that however you need for whatever you need to cover. And it's just really good, and it can roost and defog. That's just... Zapdos is amazing. Like, I think I like it as a defogger more than Staraptor, personally. I love Zapdos. I think it's fun. But we don't have to dive too deep into your team.
Okay.
That's fine. We could go on, maybe, to Lovecraft's team. Alright. So, Lovecraft, I'm so sorry how much you got sniped, especially by me. This is the Miskatonic Tentacruels, but I mean, honestly, for a team, every single round he said he got sniped. But I think his draft isn't bad. Hoopa U, obviously, I think we put that number 6 overall in tier 1s. Such a strong, I mean, 160 attack. Little is going to switch into that. Gliscor is the best tier 2. I don't understand why he was complaining about getting sniped when he ended up with Gliscor. Mega Beedrill is interesting. I would have liked to have seen maybe like Sceptile or Aerodactyl if he's going to go for more of a glass cannon, but Beedrill I think is fun. The team is a little slow, obviously, besides Beedrill. But like I said, he was heavily sniped, so he was kind of like working around other stuff. I sniped the exact core he wanted, apparently. He was a little upset with me. He actually PM'd me about what my next pick was going to be and was like, damn it, I can't even get that one. So, poor Lovecraft. And he stole your Fight EMZ. So,
I think, although he was sniped, I think his team is so good, other than Lycanroc. That's okay. So, Beedrill is good with Gliscor, because if you run Defog Gliscor, you will just hold the field with your Stealth Rock and Defog all the time. So Beedrill can have fun anytime, coming in and just free turn.
Yeah.
And especially with Tapu Fini, I think he's so good because the Will-O-Wisp will not be used on it.
It's true. No, yeah, Tapu Fini's super good and a little underrated. I think it always goes in the free picks, but I like Tapu Fini. You just have to be careful if you're planning on doing your own status. So like Rotom Heat's not going to be packing too much Will-O-Wisp if Fini's around.
And Como will not use his dragon moves efficiently.
That's true. Yeah, the FAs, I do think, yeah, Entei for Como is okay. He already had Rotom Heat, so I could see that. Druddigon for Heliolisk, I mean, maybe he just didn't want 2 dragons. I think Heliolisk is good, and he didn't have an electric, so that's, I think the FAs make sense to me.
They are one of the best FAs done yet.
Yeah, I agree.
The better dragon, and he needed a fast electric type. As you said, his team is not that fast.
Yep, and fast electric types, there's not many.
With the 3-volt U-turners,
Beedrill
and Heliolisk.
And Gliscor has U-turn, right? Does Lurantis? I know he was talking about picking Lurantis, and I think it's going to be fun. I don't know if it gets U-turn though.
It doesn't.
It does
not.
not. Okay. Interesting.
But... And Regis Steel can set up the curse, if you know that set.
I do know that set. The Registeel Curse set is very good. Bring your Earth powers or else you'll lose. Basically. But no, I do think it's a pretty solid team. I definitely don't think it's the best. I like where it is. I think 7 is actually like pretty solid for where it is. And the FAs just make sense. He got sniped really hard, so he had to fix the holes in the team. But where is this about where you'd put him?
I think I've put him like 7th. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. 7th. Makes sense. Cool. So I think that's it for Lovecraft. Next up, we have Brendan's team. Pixelated Outrage. 1 FA, traded Ninetales for Chandelure. I didn't actually check the points because that is a tier 4 for a tier 3. But I think that's okay. We'll have to double check. The strengths for the team obviously went for the hack spam. Jirachi and Togekiss are just really mean Pokemon. Just really mean. And then you throw Galvantula in there and Hydreigon. I mean, I really like the team. It's, I think, going to be a fun one to watch. Miltank is very good tier 4, probably one of the best. I'm always surprised at how fast Miltank is. And then, obviously, the Galvantula webs, there is a lot going for it, especially with Mega Gallade. Mega Gallade under webs is going to be insane, I think. So people are going to have to handle Galvantula really well. The weaknesses, I did put Ninetales, but obviously that's getting upgraded to Chandelure. See, I don't see a need for the Sun on the team, unless you're running Solar Beam on Roserade. I don't know. You don't really need the Sun. Not a lot of options against hazards I put. I mean, you've got the Defog on Togekiss. I think that's about it.
That's it on Hydreigon. That's it.
Oh, Hydreigon gets Defog too, you're right. But I don't... Yeah. I mean, Hydreigon has options. It always surprises me. And then Hacks... Sorry, Brendan. Hacks can't win you every game. You're not going to get every flinch you want. But it's fun. I think it's a fun team. Overall.
I don't think anyone wants to fight to battle this team at all.
No. Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to handle those webs before Togekiss and Jirachi come in and just flinch you to death. Basically.
Going for inner focus, or what it was called, that prevents you from inner focus, yeah, from being flinched.
Yep.
So I think this is the Pixelated Outrage.
Yeah, I definitely didn't rate them this high for myself personally. It's like I see what they're going for, but I still don't think it's that strong.
This team, other than the hacks, Jirachi can be so bulky with Steering Race, with Body Slam, Stealth Rock, Healing Wish, and U-Turn. Dragon that can hit really hard, and he has Helium Z, so Jirachi can use it. Hydreigon can use it with Flash Cannon.
Yep, I did see that.
I think, and Mudcell I think has Heavy Slam and hits really hard.
Yep.
And Roserade can, let's say, clean, especially under the webs. If it's not sticky webs, if it's expert belt or life orb. His setup like Swords Dance, it can sweep. Same with Manaphy's Tail Glow and like Rain Dance. I think who had it last season? I think Slife. Manaphy. It's underrated.
I agree.
Tier 1 pick.
I'm not a fan of Manaphy, but I agree.
Yeah, other than the flinching cores, I think this team is good as his play style for Brenner.
Yeah, like I still put it in the middle here somewhere. I just don't think it's.
Put it in 13th, if I remember correctly, but after taking a second look, I think.
Yeah.
6th.
Yeah, I definitely didn't put it 13th, but I think I put it around like 9, 8, somewhere around there. I think the webs help it a lot, but I think anyone able to handle the webs maybe will do okay.
So, moving on to New York Glitchxcity.
Yep. So New York Glitchxcity is the Kyurem B team. So now we're in the top 5 teams. So Kyurem B is a top 5 tier 1 pick. It's really, really good. Got ICMZ on it. Hopefully this time the ICMZ Kyurem B team does really well. He definitely picked just strong Pokemon in every tier. Kyurem B, and then tier 3 you got Tentacruel, you got Emboar, I think is really good. Snorlax has proved really well. Crocodile is so good at tier 2. Crobat surprised us all in the finals. I think Hussam remembers Crobat from Lovecraft's team, so that's a good tier 3 pick.
I forget.
I think Crobat won Lovecraft the game. The Flynium Z Crobat though. And then it looks like they picked up Grand Bull, which I had last season and used pretty well for a tier 5, so it's always nice to see someone pick up something that I made look good. I think Grand Bull is pretty fun for an Intimidate user. And then Mega Alakazam. He does have to, he's Crocodile. And then Mega Alakazam obviously is just an offensive powerhouse. Yeah, I mean, I agree. This top 5 is exactly the same as my top 5, just maybe in a different order. But I put Glitchxcity at 5, and I completely agree. I think it's a good team.
I think he has it all. He has the physical attacker special. He has setup. He has Cobalion like Rock Polish and SD or Crobat for defogging, Emboar for the Reckless and hits so hard. Double Intimidator, Rotom to which same for Crocodile to set up Stealth Rocks and Pursuit Trapping. So I think this team is overall so good, and this top 5 is actually in a different level than the previous teams.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think it's super strong. It's a really good offensive team. I don't know what else to say besides that it's really good, and I'm worried to fight it myself.
To Denver Flare Blitz, coached by Cradily 26.
That's me. So I went. Yeah, you can go ahead and talk about my team then. I'll be quiet.
Tapu Scizor, Mandibuzz, Tyrantrum, Mesprit, Kumala, the Wish Passer, Mega Manectric, Volcanion, Diggersby, Alolan Muck, and Archeops with a Gracium Z Crystal.
Yeah.
Bulu supports these well, and it's you have, as you said, as it's written here, lots of Volt turns, options, and this team is centered around Bulu for Manectric, Volcanion, Alolan Muck. So with Tapu Bulu is so good because it just nullifies the weakness, the only weakness Alolan Muck has.
Yep.
So, and Mega Manectric. So you have like 2 Pokemon without
a weakness.
Yeah, that's so good. So you have Mandibuzz as well and Volcanion that get defog, but you will not use Archeops as a defogger.
Probably not.
As a Rapid Spinner, Mesprit, Diggersby and Archeops. Does Diggersby learn Stealth Rock?
I think so. I was looking at him.
No.
No?
It doesn't.
Doesn't. Sad. That's okay.
In that regard, as a hazard user and hazard control, I think this team is pretty solid in this. Really hard in both physical and special side, as the Diggersby's huge power and Volcanian's insane special attack.
Yeah.
With Manectric, and they both get Scissor Bulu and Tyrantrum. Did you make any free action?
I did not yet.
Transaction?
I had to pick Tyrantrum because somebody sniped Kyurem from me. I think Kyurem would have been a very nice addition to this team, but
could be insane as a special attacker with this team. So, but this team is actually so good, and I would rate it like. Yeah, so belongs here.
Yeah, I put me at 3, but I'm okay with 4 overall. That's fine. It's a slower team. I think that might be putting some people off. I've got Manectric though to kind of cover up for that, and Mesprit. Mesprit's actually pretty fast. Not crazy fast, but fast enough for what I need, I think. And then Archeops I added in because of the speed mostly, just in case I need it, but I don't know, I think Bulu backing up the team so well, I don't need the speed quite as much. And, I mean, I went for Bulu mostly because every time a team picks Tapu Bulu, they make it pretty far into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, right.
They're super good. Like, I know last season I kind of, like, made fun of the Bulu team, like, oh, everything on your team is weak to Earthquake, like, you're using Tapu Bulu too much, like, and then Adam made it to the playoffs and obviously didn't make it too far because we ended up having to get him out. But it still did really good and I was really happy. I couldn't get Mega Mawile with it though because we banned it, so I think Manectric helps a lot though.
And that's better, I think. With the Intimidate, you need some Intimidate.
Yep, that's exactly why I wanted Manectric. I didn't really have a backup, so I was worried, which is why I took it, pick 3. So
that's it for the Denver Flare Blitz.
Yep.
Let's move on.
Move on to Northern Mankeys for JM. This is the team I put at number 1 personally, but they fell to number 3 overall. So Zygarde, Bronzong, Gardevoir is such a strong core, I think, and then Shaman, Milotic, and Victini also for Grass, Water, Fire. Those all just work so well together. He's got Mega Lopunny, the best Mega, hands down. Starmie is so good. I think the best Rapid Spinner you could ask for. Getting rid of hazards, just so good. Starmie has so many options, and just really fun team. I think Volbeat obviously is kind of a weird pick, but with our Baton Pass, maybe Volbeat does something interesting. We'll have to see. And then Psyche MZ does have some uses. Victini, Starmie, Gardevoir even. Actually, he has 3 Psychic types. I did not realize that. It's a little Dark Weak maybe. Oh wait, he has Bronzong too. He has 4... I don't know how I didn't notice this before. He has 4 Psychic types. That actually might be a problem. Lopunny at least can...
Psychic type is never a problem.
Well, I mean, if you're facing down a bunch of knockoff users, it's gonna hurt a lot. But I think Lopunny can help back that up. Lopunny can switch into any knockoff and be totally fine. It's just something you have to play around.
This team is, let's say, versatile, as Zygarde can just go for like the Toxic, Sub-Protect, the D-Dance. I like all these sets, and Choice Band. Milotic is Milotic. We've seen it in season, I think, every time someone picked it.
Yep.
Shaman is weird, but I think he just needed type and Seed Flare. It's called the Healing Wish. I think he has Healing Wish. Yeah, the Healing Wish is actually good with Milotic and Victini, especially if it's using Recreate all the time and switching in and out the stealth rocks.
I agree.
This team has something that should be noticed, even though it's a speed tier is so high in Bunny or Victini, Starmie, but I think it's a decent Trick Room team with God of War, Bronzong, and even Victini, because Victini can use V-Create and that reduces speed.
That's true.
And under Trick Room, I think if it's just went like max HP, max attack, I think it can live at least one hit and start sweeping with V-Create.
This is very true. I didn't actually think about that. That's a good point.
As I said, this team is so versatile because you have God of War as well. Many moves, like as well Healing Wish. I think Memento as well. I'm not too sure.
Yep. I think so.
It does. Yeah, it does. And you have Volbeat with Tail Glow, Baton Pass.
Yeah. Which hopefully gets some use. We'll have to see.
You can Tail Glow to God of War, to Victini's special set, or Starmie.
Yep.
Yeah. We should see that.
I do think this team's scary. Like I said, I rated it #1.
And it's worth noting that Jaim is the only one I think he has used Baton Pass in the past 2 seasons. In his first match versus Manatee. It's one.
So he has some skill with
Baton Pass.
Yeah.
But so he's used to that.
Yeah. I think it's going to be good, and I definitely believe it's a top 3 team for sure.
Top 3, exactly.
Alright.
Moving to number 2.
Number 2, Clutch. Our draft guru, Kansas City Kingdras. Clutch is a well-seasoned draft battler. So, got Celesteela really late. I think he was like pick 9 or 10 and got Celesteela, which is really good. It's the best Pokemon in draft, in my opinion. He's got Celesteela, Garchomp, and Mega Gardevoir as a core, which is stupid good. And then Arcanine, Serena, and then either Kingdra or Politoed could fill a Grass, Water, Fire. So he's got all those down. He's got, Celesteela with the Autotomize set is just insane. A Scarf Chomp is really good if you need the more offensive sets. Arcanine he's got, which is crazy good with Intimidate. Adds a lot of offensive presence to this team. I think Licky Licky is actually a decent tier 5 pick. A lot of people seem to like it. My only grievance was Toxicroak. I don't think Toxicroak's that good. I don't understand it. I think he mostly picked it with Politoed, maybe. He has some plans there with the dry skin. I don't know, we'll have to see. I just don't understand the Toxicroak pick. I think there's better tier 4s, but Politoed with Kingdra is going to be really good, I think. That could be really fun. Raikou is really nice too. I think it's just a solid team. There's not much bad about it. It's just good. And Groundium Garchomp, I think we'll see that a little bit.
I think we have to see that. I like his team, and I like that he just went for a small bit of rain team just in Politoed and Kingdra. I think that's is actually so good, and it can synergizes with Raikou's Thunder, I think.
Yep.
And Gardevoir hits like a truck in special, and Garchomp hits like a truck in its physical. So I think its team we can't comment on it because it's so good.
Right.
That's just about it.
What do you think of Toxicroak, though? I'm just curious. Maybe I'm not seeing something.
Until Clutch proves us wrong.
There you go. Hopefully Clutch watches this and proves us. Sableye, yeah. We moved that to tier 4. I had it season 1. I don't think I really used it much though, but I think we thought it was just too good with Prankster and all the shenanigans it could do. It's just, I mean, Sableye is just one of the best utility mons there is. It's really good.
It doesn't take hits like the Mega, but
no.
With Prankster, that's just about it.
Yep. I think we can move on to the number 1. The number 1 team voted by the league was Palookie, Vilephoray, Venusaurs. So we've got another Coco Lucha team because how Lucha was moved down to tier 2. I don't understand why everybody wanted to vote Lucha down to tier 2, but they did. I did not. Megalodios, Skarmory, and Coco Core I think is bonkers good. Flynium Z has some use with Coco's Brave Bird and with Howlucha even, if you didn't do the electric seeds. I'm sure there's a few other options that I'm not seeing with that. The picks are good. Trevenant I've never really sold on. It's like, I love Trevenant, I love its design and I want it to be good, I just don't think it's quite there. And then I didn't rate this team as high, but I think that was before they finally picked up Slowbro by dropping Uxie, and then they free traded Alomomola for a Florges. So Slowbro, I think adding to the team just makes it that much better, because now you've got like a really, really good bulky water. Before that, I think I rated this team at number 4, but the Slowbro pushes it. I still don't know if I'd put it at number 1, but I think it's good. And I think Weezing is just the best tier 5, so really good team.
It's absolutely devastating to prep versus this team. Tapu, Coco, Mamoswine, even the Incineroar, Florges, and Megalodios, Florges, and Skarmory. These three won't die.
Pretty much. That's my fear.
Again, Coco and Howlucha can just sweep. Weezing can just drop a Memento.
Yep.
At Mamoswine to set up Stealth Rock, he has some priority in Fake Out, Ambipom, and Ice Shard.
Yep, that's true. I forgot about Mamoswine. God, Mamoswine's so good.
This is undoubtedly top 3.
Easily, I think, yeah. Especially with Slowbro now, I think it's a top 3.
And especially with Flynium Z's, it can be used like in Tapu Coco's Brave Bird. You can use it in with Howlucha. I doubt that he will not. Even Skarmory's Brave Bird or...
That's true, I didn't think about Skarmory.
Sky Attack.
It's true, I mean anything that gets Fly or Acrobatic. I know a lot of things get Aerial Ace, you could even try to throw it on there to get a mini nuke. I don't know. But I think Flynium is just one of the best Z crystals. It has a lot of options. But
we shall see what fun sets can he use with this team.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Honestly, I want Palookie to do really well so people can be like, huh, maybe Howlucha in tier 2 is a bad idea and we can move it back up to tier 1, please. I think the combo is just busted, and that's making this team so strong. But we'll have to see. Yeah, but I think that is it for our analysis breakdown. We are ready for Season 3, which begins in just a few days. I think everyone's pretty much hard at work prepping. I know I am.
Versus whom?
Viper, for me.
I think you never won versus them, right?
I've fought Viper more times than anyone else in draft.
Season 1 and Season 2.
Yeah, we fought 3 times last season, and twice Season 1 because we fought in the playoffs, I believe. So, we fought a lot, so I think we both know kind of what to expect from each other, but yeah, I think that is it for our draft analysis video. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully we didn't bash you too hard and gave you a little constructive criticism. Let's see what you guys can fix up. But overall, I think Origins did an excellent job drafting this season. Yeah, I think that's it from me. Alright, we will see you guys. Yeah?
So... never mind.
Alright, we will see you guys next time.